Hey everybody, welcome to American to Finish. What you saw there was me shooting the Jiminez JA9. And I gotta say, you know, I had a really positive experience with this little pistol. It ran 100%. So much for, when FUDs and elitists out there say, oh, they jam-o-matic, this, that, the other thing, this is part of the reason why I never believe them. And I always do my own research. Okay? This thing ran 100%. Now, this ain't the first one I've ever owned. All right, I had my very first pistol that I ever bought for carry was a Brico Jennings 9. It's the same gun, and I bought that in 2002. All right, and I carried it for many, many, many years. All right, up until I think about 2013 is when I sold that one. I think I can't be expected to remember that because that was long ago. Okay, but I remember when I first started this channel in 2010, actually it was December 2009, it was the end of December, it was like December 29th, but either way, we'll call it 2010. That was one of the very first guns that I talked about on this channel. Now that video, again, of course, is long gone because YouTube kept taking my channel down and I kept having to come back and rise from the ashes, all right? But I carried that a long time, and I heard all of this stuff about these guns, and I was like, the people are like, oh, that's going to explode on you, and it'll if you shoot it too long, it'll melt, and it's going to blow up in your hand. All of this FUD lore BS. Okay, I owned one for many, many years. I shot the living crap out of it. I never had a problem with it. All right, I had an extended 10-year, 12-year usage out of it, and I sold it. The only reason I sold it is I wanted a 1911, and I found a 1911 I could afford. I traded the gun in on it to kind of knock the price down, bought that 1911, and I carried it. But 3 months later, guess what? I was back at that gun shop buying my Brico back, all right? And I bought it back, and then I sold it again, and then I regretted it again, and then I went and bought another one, and then bought another one, and bought another one. I've had probably 15 of these things over the years, okay? I've had the Model 59, the Model 58, I've had which is the 380, I've had their 25, their 22s, lots of the 22s. Can't even tell you how many of the 22s I've had. I've had the Raven, which is what started all of this. I've had the Lorison 380 and the Lorison 9, the Davis 380, the 32, 25. I've had the whole line of Ring of Fire guns. And I've always ignored all of the negativity around them because there are some exceptions to the rule. The Davis 380 that I had, the Cobra 380 as well, which are basically the same gun, those were junk. All right, they would not run. Every now and again you will find one that runs, but for the most part, those ones, they really didn't run too well for me. But the JA9s have always ran for me. They've always ran. They've always been good. Let me talk about, because of my experience and my long history with these, what I have found with these guns to really keep them running. That's the issue, is keeping them running. When you buy one used, typically speaking, people sell them because they were jamming, and people don't want to fix them. They don't know how to fix them. They just think, the gun was cheap, I'll just sell it off and go get something else. And in today's market, you can get something, brand new for like $200, $229 that actually does beat the crap out of this, all right? But something like a Taurus G2C, G3C, something along those lines, right? The TCP. Taurus is making a lot of stuff that just really kicks the socks off of these Jiminez guns. But if you do decide to go get one, and it is a Jam Master, all right, because they can become that way. They aren't born that way. They become that way. That shows you that gun had a lot of use, first off, okay? And by a lot of use, it probably has a couple thousand rounds through it, all right? That's a lot of use on one of these guns. What has happened is the springs in these things like to lose their elasticity, okay? You need to change springs, all right? Always start there. Mag spring and your guide rod spring, also known as a recoil spring, all right? Change those two springs out. I will almost guarantee you that fixes your problem. I will almost guarantee it, okay? If it's doing a lot of jamming. Another thing you want to do is you want to look inside of it down here at the feed ramp on these. and look and see if it's got a bunch of little pits in it. If it does, it means the person was shooting a lot of hollow points, and you want to smooth those out. They will run hollow points. There's this whole myth again that these won't run hollow points. They will run hollow points. But after so many rounds of hollow points, because of the soft material that these are made out of, it'll ding up the area, and then the hollow point will catch. All right? So you've got to kind of keep on top of that. All right? And you just got to, polish it up a little bit. You don't have to go to a mirror polish. You just want it smooth where your fingernail can't catch on anything. Some 600 grit sandpaper, and about 20 minutes later, you're good to go. Okay? And you'll have to do that maybe twice or 3 times in the life of the gun. All right, and eventually it'll run. All right. Again, you've got the burnishing and the wear of the gun and everything, and parts got to wear in. Once that happens, everything will start flowing and run the way it should. As you saw there, this thing ran 100%. All right. I love these things. They're compact. They're a good-looking little gun. I like the way that these guns look. They've got a good classic look to them. They kind of remind me a little bit of what would happen if a Smith & Wesson 5906 and a 1911 got together. It kind of reminds me of that. They are blowback action. They have an external extractor on them. They're striker fired. Don't dry fire these. They do have a cast striker in them. You can get a stainless steel striker for them. They're on eBay every now and again. They're made out of stainless steel. That is one modification I would suggest trying out on there. Okay, because it will increase the life of the gun. They have adjustable rear sights, high-vis sights. You've got a chamber indicator, striker indicator on there. It does have a magazine safety in it. The magazines are drop-free, as you can see right here. They're ergonomic. They've got some good, serrations on the slide. They're a nice pistol. Okay, as for the money. They were a nice pistol. They're not designed really to be a gun that's going to have a super long life. All right, and by that I mean you're not going to get 50,000 rounds out of this gun. All right, these are designed for your average, everyday working man that might go shooting, 2-3 times a year, put a couple hundred rounds through it, and then it lives in his sock drawer or the holster on his hip. They're a defensive pistol. And I think that's part of the reason why the anti-gunners out there hate these guns so much. Because, well, these guns right here, they make that a possibility, okay, for everybody. And as we've seen on Tucker Carlson recently with the guy that was on there, I can't remember who it was, we now know that the elitist left, the anti-gun left, the communist left doesn't want you armed. They're okay with themselves being armed with guards and everything, but they don't want you armed. What's good for me is not for thee. We now know that is the motto of the left and the rhinos that are moderate. All right, so buying one of these is kind of like kicking a bird finger to them. That might be why I own this one. All right. Because, I think that you should be allowed to own whatever the hell you want. And if you want one of these, you need to have a gun, okay? Something like this, you need to have a gun just to defend yourself, because the time's going to come that you're probably going to need it. This right here, guns like this and high-point carbines and things like that, that is what right now is keeping the left from becoming extra tyrannical, all right? And us becoming a communist country and forming bread lines and all of that, the whole 9 yards, okay? Auschwitz 2.0, this is what's stopping it. So, not to get political, all right, I have to stick that in there, but I like these guns. I do. And there's a lot of people out there that say that these guns, aren't really accurate. They're not the most accurate gun. They're not. They're not a precision pistol. They are not a precision pistol. I'll give you that. Okay. They do what they're supposed to do, and that's self-defense. However, and you're going to see it here at the end of the video, I wanted to see what this little gun could do. So we shot it at 10 yards, and it printed an okay group. It was about a 3.5-inch group. I mean, it was okay. I mean, it was all on paper. That's what matters, you know. Something like this, unless you get really lucky or you really learn the pistol good, and some magic happens, you're probably not going to be shooting half-inch groups anywhere with anything. All right, that's just honest God truth. It's not a precision pistol. That doesn't mean anything bad. All right, it's just not a precision pistol. But I wanted to know. I wanted to know something about this pistol. I wanted to know if it would go the distance. So I'm going to end this video right here, all right, with this. I decided to see if the Jiminez JA9 could go the distance. And I took it out to 300 yards. And well, you're going to be amazed with what happened. So with that, I will see you all on the flip. One other little thing, speaking of going the distance, I announced it yesterday on the community page, but not very many of you pay attention to the community page. I'm going to be doing it again. We're going 1,000 yards with another high point carbine, this time in 40 cal. Okay? So, with that, here's the footage. Thank you for watching. God bless you. And I'll see you all on the flip. Bye now.
All right, guys. I got the Jiminez JA9, same thing as the, Jiminez JA9, same thing as the Jennings. We're going to go 300 yards with it. We're shooting some Hornady, 115 grains, tap training range. 300 yards. Sitting from right here, we're actually 305. So, here we go. I think I'm hitting a little low, right?
I can't see it. My color blindness is messing with me.
My glasses keep fogging up on me here because of this cold weather.
That was a hit. Low.
Low. Okay, I see where I'm hitting. Okay, so I'm aiming here and I'm hitting there, so I need to be aiming right here.
That was a hit. Hit. Nothing. The rain is probably messing with it too.
Well, that and it's a Jennings. I like them. It's not to be condescending or anything.
That was a hit. To the left.
Yeah, so, right to the right, you mean?
Yeah. Sorry.
Let me, right there. I've got to aim shot it at the mountain, about 10 foot high and about 10 foot to the right.